Good morning, everyone. Good morning once again. So, I hope all of you are doing well. Good morning. So, I guess all of you are doing well. Good morning. Today is your semester exam. So, yes, all the best. And tomorrow we have the prelims examination also. So, any one of you who is going to appear for this prelims? Good to see you all also. Good morning. So, I welcome you all to this editorial analysis session once again. And yes, it was quite good. I am also very good, and I hope that you are also doing quite well. I am hopeful that you all have enjoyed this time. You have also prepared, you have also done some answer writing. Next year, okay. मैं बिल्कुल बहुत ही बढ़िया अंजलि, एंड आई होप कि आप सभी लोग भी अच्छे होंगे. Okay, so I welcome you all to this editorial session once again, and today we are going to discuss three editorials. The first one is with respect to the rise of a new political group or a pressure group, we can say. Rather than a political party, we can say that it is a pressure group. So in GS paper 2, we have this pressure group and formal or informal association and their role in polity. So this is one of the part which we have to discuss. Second thing we have to talk about is cyber warfare. We have GS paper 3 where we have to read the basics of cyber security. So here we are going to discuss about the cyber warfare in the present times. Then we have to see India and US relations. This is something which is related to IR, international relations. It is something related to IR. Okay. Sir, admit card नहीं आया. Mistake हो गई थी तो yes. So if there was a mistake in filling the form, then next time you have to be very much careful. Next time you have to be extremely careful while filling the application form. So let's start. Okay, what has happened is not in your control. The things which have already been done, it is not under your control. But what you do today, what you do for the next year, that is under your control. So you cannot like handle the past, but you can handle the present and you can secure the future. So work on that aspect. Now let's start. So we have this one topic, interpreting the rise of cockroach Janata Party. So in the last 1 week, when we were not discussing the articles, a lot of things have happened. We have got a new political party. We have got an appeal from the Prime Minister not to purchase gold, not to do foreign travels, not to do many other things. Okay. So that has also happened. The petrol and diesel prices has started to increase. The global politics is almost the same even now. There is no such major change, but it's going on in the same manner as it was there in the past. So a lot of things have been happening there. A lot of things have been happening there in the world. Okay. And in last 1 week, especially in India, we have seen that there has been rise of a new group. There was one such instance where the Chief Justice of India was saying something in reference to one case, and then it became very much debated, intensely debated topic. Then we see there is a rise of a new political association also, or a pressure group type of thing. It's not a political party. It's not a political party as of now. It is more of a pressure group. But you have to read about the pressure group as part of your GS paper 2. So we are going to analyze this one thing, that why there is a rise of such a massive level of online agitation in India. Okay. So this is one such article which is discussing about it. So we are going to talk about it. So what is the context here? The context is this, that there was a remark from the Chief Justice of India. There was a remark from a Chief Justice of India, and he was saying not directly to the youth. Of course, if we look at the debate, if we look at the proper video of it, it was in some context. It was in some context that he was saying that some people are becoming cockroaches. Okay. So at that time, the complete video was not there. The complete video was not put in the forum. Only one part of it, only one part of the dialogue was put in the forum. Okay. However, the reference which was made at that time became an intense criticized quotation by the people, and it has led to creation. Like there was a remark like the youth, some youth, in reference to a case, that some youth are there who are acting as cockroaches. And then what we see that from here we have seen that now this was taken up. There was a criticism on social media. At the same time, we also see that there was an emotional uprising. There was an emotional uprising. And third thing, we see that there has been formation of online group. Now we see that it is not only one group, rather groups. But the most prominent one was the Cockroach Janata Party. The most prominent one was the Cockroach Janata Party. So there is a criticism on social media, the economic uprising also, plus formation of online groups, CJP, the Cockroach Janata Party. But here the thing is that you may have all read about the revolt of 1857. You may have read about different movements in the history. So history gives us a lesson for the present. History gives us the lesson for the present, that a movement or a uprising of this level, is not just because of one issue. It is triggered by one issue, but there are many underlying factors. This was the triggering point. This was the trigger. But it is not only because of this trigger that we have got a massive fan following of this Cockroach Janata Party. So what we see, क्या CIA का इन्वेस्टमेंट हो सकता है इंटरनल डिस्टर्बेंस क्रिएट करने के लिए नेपाल के जैसे? हाँ, लेट्स ट्राई टू एनालाइज दिस, दैट इज इट लाइक influenced by some outside forces. Now see this one part. When we have seen this Cockroach Janata Party, it has got massive following. It has got massive following in just a few days. In just a few days. But this is not the solo event. Okay. This is not just a solo event. This is one part. We see that there has been massive protest. There has been massive protest on various issues. There has been massive protest on various issues. Like we have seen, there is paper leak. There is a problem of paper leak. We have seen NEET students. We have seen the NEET paper leak. The news is coming up recently that there was a paper of Lekhpal also in one of the state, and there is a chance, or there is some news coming up that the paper of Lekhpal may have also got leaked. We have discussed this also, that there has been 89 paper leaks in 10 years. There has been 89 paper leaks in 10 years. That is also we have seen. there has been protest against Aravallis. There has also been protest against VIP culture. There has been protest against this VIP culture. There has been protest against projects on Ken Betwa River. You may have also seen that there has been protest by laborers in Noida for wage hike, and across the countries for multiple such issues, there have been protests. Plus, at the same time, in all these things, what we have seen that in case of all these issues, there has been a heavy-handed approach. A heavy-handed approach by administration. You may have also seen that there has been an ongoing protest. There is an ongoing protest for 3-4 in Bihar. There is an ongoing protest in Bihar also for 3-4. Now, if we look at all these issues, we can simply say that okay, there may be that a foreign source is involved. But when you analyze at all these issues, the different things which are going on in the country, you may realize this one part, that the following of this Cockroach Janata Party was not because of just one remark. Many people might not be even aware about what CGI must have said in the court, but they are looking for an alternative. So this is one of the challenge. We have seen that across the country, there have been multiple protests which is already going on. And this is something which has provided an option for the people. This has just provided an option for the people, an alternative for the people, alternative for the massive youth who are very much active on social media, to just show a symbolic gesture, to just show a symbolic opposition to the existing system. So what we see that, so that's why the CBSE portal had a technical issue while checking the answer. Maybe it was pre-planned. So we are not aware about each and every issues, but we see that in almost every corner, what we see that why these issues are arising. Why these issues? We see that there is lack of functioning institutions. Lack of functioning institution. There is a lack of functioning institutions. If we are having a paper leak, that's one issue. But how we are addressing that? How we are solving that problem? If there are multiple paper issues and we are doing nothing, we are providing no solution, then it's become a challenge. Okay. What we see that there is a lack of functioning institutions. There is also a tendency of over centralization. There is a tendency of over centralization. That most of the works are being decided. Most of the works are being decided by the central government. Most of the things are being decided by central government. In fact, you may have seen that when we are talking about this VBG Ramji also, you may have seen that the Gram Panchayats will have the option to choose, but then they have to choose only from the list which suits according to the plan made by the central government. So there has been a over centralization of the schemes, over centralization of the policies, of the governance. So the power is lying in just one or two hands. That is also one of the problem. There has also been a resentment among the people because of two factors. Resentment due to higher cost of living, lower wages, and unsatisfactory employment, or rather we can say unemployment. So we see that there is a resentment among the people. The higher cost of living is there. Lower wages is there, unsatisfactory unemployment, or we see that unsatisfactory employment plus unemployment thing is there. Then we see that the political parties which are there, they are not listening to the people, rather than they are telling the people what they are going to do. Okay. The political parties are not listening to the voices of the people. They are rather pitching their own agenda. So that is also one thing. There is an alienation. There is an alienation from the masses. There has been alienation from masses. They have been pitching their own agenda. And lesser listening of people grievances. They are not listening to the grievances of the people. They are not listening to the grievances of people. Rather, what they are doing, they are pitching their own agenda. Every party has their own agenda and they are keeping on pitching the same agenda there and again. Okay. So this is one of the reasons that why these issues are there, why the people are looking for an alternative, why the people have started following an alternative. If you can see that they have got huge number of subscribers or followers on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or any place. The question is why they have got it. Or now we see that there is not just one political party page, there are multiple such new ideas which are coming up. The question is why? The answer is very much simple. Because the existing system is failing to deliver. The existing system is not listening to the people. It is not listening to the voices of the people. So then there is a rise of a new alternative. Okay. So this is one the reason why these issues are there. Now, if we say comparison with other countries, now the thing is that there has been Gen Z movement in Nepal or Bangladesh. So can we compare it with that? Can we compare the movement in India with them? The answer is no. The answer is no. Why? Their constitution or their institutions were very weak. In India, we are still having a very strong constitution, a belief in constitution. Okay. How we are different? The difference. How we are different? There is something, we see that there is a belief in the constitution. There is a belief in the constitution. This is one thing which you have to understand. There is a belief in the constitution. People are not demanding that the system has to be done away. The demand. If we look at the demand is very simple: reform in the system. The demand is quite simple, that there should be a reform in the system. It's not saying that we are not going to have a parliament system, or we are not going to have this one party system or two party or multi party system. It is only being said that we want reform in the system, that government should listen to the people. Okay. It is demanding, there is a core demand that there should be a responsive government, a responsive governance. It has not lost the belief on the system. Rather than that, there has been a demand that we want to change the system. We want to change the system. So this is one of the part, that what is the difference between the other countries' revolt and here. In other countries, people were not believing in the system altogether. They wanted to change the entire structure. They wanted a new constitution. Everything should be new. But in case of India, that is different. Yes. But the challenge is how the government is approaching this. That how the government is approaching this remains one of the key elements, that how this revolution will go forward. Maybe this time, if you are blocking the accounts of one Instagram page or two Instagram page, it may subside for some movement, for some period of time. But in long run, if the solution is not being provided, it may become much more volatile in the future. If we are not addressing the grievances of the people, then it is going to become much more volatile in the future. So that is one thing which governments and political parties have to see. This is something which government and political parties have to see, that how they are going to find a solution for the resentment among the people. It is not a one-time trigger. There are some underlying issues which has to be addressed. I hope that's clear. I hope this part is clear, that what is the Cockroach Janata Party issue plus. Okay. Now coming to the one part, cyber warfare. So let's start with some example. There is this one example. There is one group called as Handala group. Okay. There is one group which is based in Iran. Which is simply called as the Handala group, based in Iran. So what they have done during US-Iran conflict, they have leaked 300 plus sensitive emails of FBI chief. They have also made public personal details and address of US Marines present in Gulf area. So you may see this one thing. Yes, nowadays there is a high level of heat waves. It's not high just, it is extreme level of heat wave. Like in the morning also what we are seeing that the water is not cool. The water which is there, it is not getting cool enough in the morning also. Like at 7 a.m. also if the water is not cool, when there is no sunlight for almost 12 hours, it means the heat has risen to such a level. The heat has risen to such a level that we are not having any such cooling time. We are not having any such cooling time. The people, like, it has simply become like unlivable condition in many of the metro cities. In many of the metro cities, it has become unlivable conditions. Not just during the daytime, even at the night. So that is one of the issue which we are seeing now. So we are having extreme heat waves. Now see it. So during this US-Iran conflict, we have seen that there is a group. There is a group which has like there is a group which has leaked 300 plus sensitive emails of FBI chief, made public it has made public personal details and addresses of US Marines who were present in the Gulf areas. So we are seeing that now the cyber warfare has become an integral component of this warfare. So cyber warfare, if we look at this has become an integral component. It has become an integral component of warfare. It has much more disruptive. It is much more disruptive than traditional warfare. This one has an impact. If we talk about this, the impact is on institutions, financial system, economy, social challenge due to misinformation. So we see that there is like this one thing, this one cyber warfare, it has the ability to impact the institutions also, the financial systems also, the economy also, the social challenge due to the misinformation. It is building a counter narrative. This is something which is building a counter narratives. This is something which builds a counter narrative. Now, this is something which goes beyond the scope of traditional war. In traditional war, we see that the civilians are not generally impacted more. The civilians are not directly targeted. We see that when there is a traditional war, whenever there is a traditional war, this is something which is guided by international laws. This is something which is guided by international laws. Here we see that lesser impact on civilians. There is no country which can directly target the civilians of a nation. If two countries are fighting also, they are trying to avoid the civilian casualties. Because if you are impacting the civilians, then that is considered as a war crime. If you are impacting or if you are killing the civilians, that will be considered as a war crime. So this is one of the part that a minimum civilian casualty is desired by both the parties, that there should be a minimum civilian casualties. Now, here what we see that in the case of cyber warfare, when we are talking about the cyber warfare, here the problem is civilians also get targeted. Okay. There is economic harm. There is a fake narrative. There is a fake narrative which is being propagated. We also see that at the same time, the cyber warfare is also putting resentment among people against on government. There is also a resentment against on government. There is a resentment also among the civilians against their own government, against their own institutions. So this is something which civilian cyber warfare is able to do. Now, when we talk about cyber warfare, there is another issue. In the case of cyber warfare, we see that the international laws apply, but what we see that this is something which is difficult to prove. This is something which is quite much difficult in order to prove. Okay. Difficult to trace origin. It is something which is where we see that it is difficult to trace origin. This is something which is difficult in blaming any state for direct involvement. So what we see that this is emerging as a proxy warfare. This is emerging as a proxy warfare. It is something which has emerged as a proxy warfare. What we look into this, that generally this has become an integral component of warfare, but not a direct warfare. It is having much more disruption. It is impacting the institution, the financial system, the economy, the social challenge. What we see that the traditional war has get the lesser impact on civilians, but it is impacting the civilians also. And while the international laws applies over there, it is difficult to prove, difficult to trace origin, and also there is a difficulty in blaming a government with a proper evidence. That even if someone is carrying out cyber warfare, how are you going to prove that? So this is one of the cyber warfare issue which we are seeing. Okay. So this is one of the part. Okay. Yes, brainwashing is also something which goes on. So what we see that cyber warfare is something which has become quite common. Now the thing is, what strategy is needed? Okay. What strategy is required? What strategy is required? Sir, is it true we can win from our system? Why there is a need to win from the system? System is for us, not for against us. See, you have to realize this one thing, that the system may have some problems, The system may have some problems, but the fight is not for replacing the system or removing the system, but rather than reforming the system. It's not that we have to win from the system. The system has to always secure that the people win. The system has to always secure that people are winning. If they are not securing that, then there must be a reform in that system. And reform comes through the processes also. Reform comes through these processes also. When people are raising voices, when people are demanding responsibility. Think about this. There was a very famous poem which was written just some time back. There was a very famous poem that it is very much easy to criticize the Prime Minister, but it is very much difficult to criticize the sarpanch of your area. It is quite easier to criticize the Prime Minister, but it is quite difficult to criticize the sarpanch of your area. Why? Generally, there will be no response. Most of the time, there will be no response if you are criticizing the Prime Minister. But if you are criticizing the Panchayat Sarpanch, then you are just immediately in that line. You are immediately that in line. You have to confront the person. So that is one of the very important part. When people will have courage, they will first look at their surrounding. Like suppose that in our surrounding, you may have seen that sometimes the municipality is not working. Sometimes the municipality is not working. They are not collecting the garbage in a proper manner. They are not having the waste disposal in a proper manner. But we are not complaining. When we are not having footpath, we are not complaining for that. When we see encroachment on footpath, when we see the encroachment on the footpath by the shopkeepers, we are not complaining about that. But we directly start saying that the highways are not good. We are directly saying that our highways are not good. There are potholes on our highways. The highways are not constructed in a proper manner. But the footpath which is encroached, we are not complaining against that. Okay. So this is one of the part, that it is easier to criticize the bigger entity. But you may have seen that the change comes from the local level. The change comes from the local level. So this is where everyone will have to start. That is what is very easier. There is a very easy task. There is a very easy task. You can write anything about Prime Minister, that Prime Minister is going to Italy while he is saying us to stay at home. So why is Prime Minister then visiting to Italy? Okay. Or Norway or any other place? So it is quite easy to criticize. But then at the same time, when you have to say something, to your nearby authorities, to your surrounding authorities, then very few people say something against it. So that is one of the major challenges. Now see, when we talk about the cyber warfare, what is the strategy which is required? We have to build cyber resilience. And how this will be done? By addressing the loopholes in cyber systems. Use of AI to identify loopholes. And solve them. So first of all, we have to build resilience. Second thing is, we have to also, civilians, they need digital literacy, digital education. We have to provide digital education for the citizens. Okay. We have to provide digital education to the citizens. Okay. We have to preventing them from fake narratives. Fake narratives. We have to also build trust among people. We have to also build trust among the people. And at the same time, what we also have to do, we have to advocate for a global framework against cyber warfare. That we have to advocate for a global framework against the cyber warfare also. We have to also get for a global framework against the cyber warfare also. So when we are able to ensure all these three things, then we can also counter the cyber warfare. So I hope that is clear. I hope that is also clear. तो बोल देते प्रधान से वो भी directly. Good. Everyone should be able to do that. It's not that the people need to have courage for it. It should be that much simple that anyone, the last person in the society, should be able to complain about the system at any point of time. This is also something which I will talk about, Shri. See, the thing is, when you are preparing for this exam is having a personality development part of your also. When you read the different editorials, when you read the different news articles, you will find that there is always going to be some problem. There is always going to be some issues. Why we are reading that? Why we are reading that? We are not going into the glamorous details. We are not talking about melody chocolate. We are not talking about bhel puri or jhalmuri, whatever you say that. Why we are discussing this? Because when you are preparing for this exam, you should be aware about what issues are there. The UPSC preparation is in such a manner that you have to be aware about these issues, but you don't have to get emotional about it. You have to know about the issues, and when you are there in the power, when you are there in the responsible position, then you have to take some action in order to solve these issues. So they are the part of the preparation for your job, that when you reach in that job, you should be aware about what issues are there. You don't have to solve them right now. You don't have to solve these issues right now. When you are there in the power, when you are there as a IAS or IPS or other post, then you have to work on things. You don't have to work right now. You have to first get into the position, and then you have to work for this. Okay. So this is the second article about the cyber warfare. Now coming to the third part, India and US interests. So now we are seeing that just take 2 years back, 2023, 2024, or even if we go back to 2016, 2020, it was being said that India and US relations are at its best. It was being said that we are having the best relations with US ever. But in the last 2 years have been so much like different. It has been so much different that now we are talking about that we need not align our policies with that of US. The things have changed so much enormously. Okay. So now what we see that if we look about India, when we talk about US, it is having self-interest. When we talk about China, it cannot be trusted. When we talk about European Union, having lesser relevance. When we talk about Russia, we see that the friendship here, now it is tilting towards China. To see the position of India, if we look at this, US, it is having its self-interest always, not the first time, always. When we about China, we see that cannot be trusted. European Union, it is having lesser relevance in the global geopolitics. And when we are talking about Russia, Russia used to be our very foremost partner. Russia used to be a very much fundamental partner for India. But now there is a tilt towards China. So now the thing is that why all these challenges at once? Why we are having all these challenges at once? So the article says that, the author says that it is a self-inflicted wounds. Self-inflicted wounds. That these problems have been created by ourselves. These problems have been created by ourselves. What we see, we have been aligning with US interest. We have been aligning with US interests. For example, we can see that our policy with Iran, is a very much good example of this, that how we have alienated our entire country. Okay. Then we have also been policy with respect to China. Our policy with respect to China. See this one very interesting part. Now US and China are having a deal, or they are trying to negotiate with each other. But we have been countering China. We have been becoming part of Quad. We have been becoming part of many such groups which are countering China. We are becoming part of groups which is countering China. We are becoming parts of group which is countering China. Then we see the oil purchase Russia by oil purchase from Russia on advice of US. So who are we serving? Why we are having our interest aligned with US interest? Our interest should be aligned with our own interest. It should not have been guided by US narratives. It should not have been guided by US narratives. We are claiming to have a strategic autonomy, but many experts are saying that it is a pseudo strategic autonomy. It is a pseudo strategic autonomy. We are not having the real autonomy. We are having a pseudo strategic autonomy. So our foreign policy needs a rethinking. Our foreign policy, if we look at this, our foreign policy, there is a need of rethinking. There is a need of rethinking. First thing, US, never a strategic partner. US is never a strategic partner. US is not going to be our strategic partner. So, if you are trying to align your policy with respect to US, you are not going to, in fact, what we see that US creates dependency. US is something which creates dependency. Because even if US is your friend, it is creating a dependency. Then we also see that when we are talking about US, it chooses Pakistan. It chooses Pakistan to counter India. In same manner as it chooses India to counter China. So what we see that US is choosing Pakistan to counter India in the same manner as it is choosing India to counter China. Today I will try to take that session. So don't worry. Today we will have some talk. Okay. I just arrived yesterday. So I didn't get the time. So today I will try to take that session. So what we see that we need to rethink our policy. We cannot trust US as a strategic partner. So what we need to do? What should be the way forward? What should be the way forward over here? India has gone for bilateral relations, but throughout the part we have seen that multilateralism is something which has been advocated by India since the beginning. That the multilateral approach is something which gives us more voice. A multilateral approach gives us more voice. So again, we have to look at multilateralism while securing our strategic interest. So we have to go for supporting multilateralism while securing strategic interests. We have to go beyond trade deals. We have to go beyond the trade deals. Right now, we see that our entire foreign policy is focused on just this one part, that are we able to sign a free trade agreement with countries or not? We are just having a free trade agreement with the countries, but we need to look beyond that. We need to build a secure partnership. We need to build a very strong partnership. We need to build a strong partnership with countries having similar interest. So this is one thing which we need. We need to build partnership with those countries which are having similar interests. We should not be playing in someone's hand. We should not be playing to someone else's policy. Rather than that, we should be building our own strategic alliances, the one which can serve us, not the ones which are serving others. Like when India started this International Solar Alliance, what we see that when we are looking at this, when India have got this International Solar Alliance, so it was serving its interest. India के interest को follow कर रहा था. When we were having International Big Cat Alliance, it was serving our interest. So we are having certain problems, like we are having technology. We need to build a technology alliance. We need to build a technology alliance. We need to build a technology alliance. We need to build a investment alliance. There will be an alliance of certain countries where investments will be much more easier. So we need to have technology alliance. We need to have investment alliance. We need to have clean energy alliance. So this is one thing which we require. So I hope that is clear. Okay, there is one question. Sir, अब तो क्वेश्चन बन गया है. इधर 15-20 दिन के current affairs not necessary. I have told you multiple times. The current affairs was required only till the month of March 2026. April and May, it was not required. क्या क्वेश्चन पेपर पर मार्क करना अलाउड है? यू कैन मार्क इट, देयर इज नॉट सच अ मेजर प्रॉब्लम. ऐसा कुछ मेजर प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, बट डोंट राइट द टू मच इंफॉर्मेशन ऑन दिस. जस्ट आप मार्क करना चाहो तो थोड़ा बहुत मार्क कर सकते हो. सिंपली इट इज रिटन देयर दैट इट इज नॉट अलाउड, बट आप अपने रेफरेंस के लिए थोड़ा बहुत स्टार मार्क या रफ पेज पे जो दिया होता है, देयर इज अ रफ पेज ऑल्सो गिवन. There is a rough page also given on the end of the paper. So there you can mark. Like suppose you have to write the answer. कि पहला का आंसर A है, दूसरे का B है. So you can mark it there also in the rough page which is provided at the end of the question paper. You can write it there कि 1 का A. So that later on when you have to go for filling the OMR sheet, they can directly take reference from there. तो वहाँ से आप directly reference ले सकते हो. Sir, what is more favorable to India, when rupee gets weaker or when rupee depreciates? Both are the same thing. Like when rupee depreciate, it says it is simply that the rupee is becoming weaker. देखो, हल्का फुल्का मार्क अगर करना है अनुज, there is no problem. No one asks you there. But if you write answer, if write any other information over there, then there may be some question about this. ऐसे लोग सिंपली थोड़ा बहुत अंडरलाइन करते हैं, थोड़ा बहुत आंसर मार्क करते हैं. दैट्स नॉट अ इशू एट ऑल. मेजर इशू नहीं होता, बट जनरली इट इज रिटन देयर ऑन क्वेश्चन पेपर कि आपको मार्क नहीं करना है. सी ऋषभ, इट इज नॉट अबाउट द depreciation or appreciation. It is like it has to be there. It has to appreciate or depreciate in a stable manner, not a volatile manner. Like rupee has weakened by more than 10, it has lost its value by more than 400 base, not 400, by 1000 basis point. Okay. By 1000 basis point in just around 2 or 3 months. तो 10 रुपए से अधिक की गिरावट हुई, 10 रुपए से ज्यादा उसका वैल्यू डिप्रिशिएट हुआ है. दैट इज चैलेंजिंग पार्ट. I think day before yesterday. Yeah, I will look at this. If anything is important, I will tell you. Okay. अगर कुछ important होगा उसमें तो I will let you know. So thank you everyone. फिर मिलते हैं Monday से. Tomorrow we are going to have the prelims paper, and I think many of you are not appearing for this, so no issues. Next year you have to prepare for this. Those who are appearing for the prelims exam, all the best everyone. And those who are appearing for next year, this is a sign for you also. Next year we have 23rd of May. So today we are having 23rd of May 2025. next year, 23rd May 2026. 23rd May 2026. Sorry, 27. That is your prelims date. So I have got exactly 365 days now. So be prepared for that. Start preparing for that from right now. Okay. Thank you, everyone. We will start with our answer writing also from Monday. We have some questions here. We have got some questions from here. Cyber warfare has emerged as a new challenge for nations in the present world conflicts. Comment. Then we have the second question. India needs to realign its foreign policy for its strategic interest. Comment. So these two questions are there, simple questions, plus one information for all of you. We are going to have this UPSC mains test series for 2026 in offline and online medium in English and Hindi as well. So we are going to start it from 5th of June also. So thank you, everyone. Take care. Write the answers. On Monday, we will talk about it. Thank you, everyone. Take care and all the best. Thank you.